It is a beautiful morning in Pisgah. Today we're heading out for the first day of the Pisgah Enduro, trying to survive. So I'm right at the end of that page.
Stefano?
Yes.
What you guys are going to be doing is being shuttled to the first stage. So you're going to put your bikes on the backs of these box trucks, okay? Then once all the bikes are loaded up, you're going to get on the school buses and we're going to take you up the hill about 10 miles to stage 1.
Day 1 of 2 of the Pisgah Enduro starts with a shuttle from Camp Greer to the Ridgecrest Conference Center. From there, the pedaling starts up to Rattlesnake, stage 1. Stage 2 starts halfway through KITSUMA, after which a long transfer takes us all the way to the far side of Star Gap for stage 3. Stage 4 is just a short sprint on JARRETT Creek Road, after which it's just a matter of getting back to Camp Greer for the finish line. In total, day 1 spans over 32 miles with roughly 4,000 feet of climbing and 5,000 feet of descending.
I'm gonna take my time going up. Damn, this is steep. 20% grade right off the start. Nice way to warm up.
In the end, despite being very steep, the climb wasn't long, and in no time we were waiting in line for stage 1.
When you get up here, I scan your little wrist thing with this device. That's the backup timing. You're gonna see some purple tape. That's barrier tape. At the end of the barrier tape, you can see my bike. That's the actual gate. Need the loud beat. All set and go.
Yep. Okay, so start of stage 1. Just so you guys know, my objective here is to finish the race. I'm not looking to do any good position or anything, so you're not gonna get that fast of a race from me. You're mostly gonna get just me riding these trails at my regular pace. Thank you. Left.
You won't find this trail on any list of must-do rides in the area. As a matter of fact, at the time that this was filmed, it's not even on Trailforks. I'm not exactly sure if that's because you have to cross private property to get to it, or because it's nothing special. But in any case, what you've seen so far is mostly what you're gonna get on this one. Steep, rocky double track. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't fun, but it's not Pisgah's finest. Anyhow, I've struggled with this kind of flat, loose, open double track for a long time. It's so hard to keep your speed up on the turns with this terrain, and I don't really have much options to train for anything like this. Every time I come here, I stay away from the double track, so it was definitely very different of an experience to try and push on this.
Hello.
At this point, as you can probably hear from my breathing, I was really starting to feel it. I noticed that when I'm riding just for fun, I never tend to sprint in the flat sections. Having to do it now, I never really noticed just how much energy it took to do so.
That was awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Stage 1 went pretty good. I really went kind of slow. There's something about those super wide open trails that kind of freaks me out a little bit. You get to get so much speed and it's so loose that for some reason I feel better when I'm in a more tight single track. Right, oh well. Now we make our way to KITSUMA for stage 2.
This trail I've actually ridden before. The other one I was riding blind.
After a little bit of pushing, a little bit of traversing, and just a tiny bit of climbing, we had made it to the beginning of stage 2.
Get.
Thank you.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Why did he take that first turn so slowly? Well, it was super loose and a few people ahead of me had slipped out.
Hey, let's do this. This is the kind of stage that I like, so I hope to get a decent result here at least.
So I thought it was better to make it through safely than to lose the time of dropping the bike at 5 miles an hour. KITSUMA is the only trail of the 4 stages that I had ridden previously. I was actually feeling pretty good on it and my confidence was quite high. The only difference today is that I had never ridden it this dry.
Woohoo! That was close. It's a bit of a climb.
That was the only real climbing section on the stage. However, a bit further down, there were a few more flat spots that, as I had mentioned before, I always just cruised through, and today I had to sprint on them.
Oh, this is loose today. Super loose.
I'm not showing you all of the flat pedally sections because it's not very much fun, but I do think that there's a huge opportunity of improvement there for me. I need to practice standing up and really sprinting these sections. From what I can see on Strava, this is where most of the top runners got the most time away from me.
These flat sections get me a lot more than the downhill stuff. Okay, we're going down again. Good.
Don't get me wrong, they were faster everywhere, but these flat parts is where it was most noteworthy. I didn't notice this as I was riding, but I was painfully slow through this section. Interestingly, this is the only place where I've actually crashed in at KITSUMA. The only thing that I can think of is subconsciously slowing down because of it. Next time I'm there, I have to make an effort to power through at my regular pace.
I'm having to sit down. I'm really tired.
As you can probably already tell, this stage was super long. I'm happy to say that the training I had done for upper body strength was working well. I had never before ridden this whole section without stopping. I can, however, improve a lot more still. I think that to get to a level where I can do these long stages comfortably, and given that I can't practice prolonged descending on my home trails, I have to find a way to do some more serious purposeful training.
Okay, almost there. Oh shit, almost. I always forget about that turn.
At this point, my GoPro malfunctioned for the first time in a very long time. I wasn't able to capture the end of the stage, but it's not that big of a deal. There wasn't much more than a minute to go.
I don't know what happened, but my camera shut off almost at the end.
We had no access to these numbers at the end of the stage. But now I'm very happy to see that I got to jump up 9 positions in the overall after KITSUMA. After a short break, we made our way to the road and on to stage 3.
Okay, so we're off the main road and starting to climb Star Gap. There's this cool little section here with train tracks that cross. It's a great picture spot. I'm so happy we rode Heartbreak Ridge a couple months ago. It makes this all more familiar and easier. When you're riding down this, you really don't notice how steep it is. Pushing up is completely something else. So tomorrow, this is the end of stage 2 tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be brutal in that sense. Those stages are so long.
After a good half hour of climbing what seemed like steep, endless switchbacks, we made it to stage 3, the far side of Star Gap.
How's your day going?
Good, eh? Good.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so we are starting Star Gap to the other side. So when I did the Heartbreak Ridge video, we also rode Star Gap, but in the other direction, which is what we just climbed now to get here. So I've never ridden this, riding blind. I was told it was shorter than the stage off KITSUMA, but my arms are now feeling it, so I'm a little warm. Oh, big ass. Switch back. How did I do that?
Right around here, my left contact lens moved out of place. I didn't want to get my hands off the bars to try to rub my eye, so I was doing my best to blink it back into position, but it really wasn't working, which you can notice by my super delayed braking. If you haven't captured it from the channel name, I can't really see much without my contacts, so I was riding with one eye. In hindsight, I should have just stopped and fixed it quickly.
Need to get together. Okay, come on. Recovery time. Little stump got me. Okay.
Right there, I was able to fix it. After a few more blinks, my sight was back to normal. But all the mistakes had messed me up a bit. My performance on this section was really quite subpar.
Switchbacks come out of nowhere. What a mess. Getting better at them.
The end of the stage was on the super wide double track road, where there was very little signage. I honestly thought I had gone the wrong way with how long the road portion was.
Did I take a wrong turn?
Thank you. Well,
Stopping now.
that was a disaster. Still fun, but what was it, like 2-3 crashes? Not the best, but made it down in one piece. Nothing major. One more stage to go. What is it, JARRETT Creek?
Yep.
Which is apparently not that good, but we shall push on. Time to go to stage 4.
The transfer to stage 4 was the most boring part of the whole ride. Just this double track road for what seemed like an eternity. As a matter of fact, once we got there, we just went for the stage without much rest.
Okay. Thank you.
So, when I was prepping pre-race, I looked at the route map for stage 4 and I saw this. I additionally looked at the previous year results, and it looked like this was an 8-minute long stage.
Oh my god. Super flat sprint.
It turns out I was completely wrong. The stage was now super short. Basically, it was a sprint stage. I was pedaling to conserve for the full 8 minutes, when in reality I should have been going all out.
I even have my seat up. Man, I hate fire roads. It's much harder than a trail. Thank you. Well, had I known that that stage was that short, I would have pedaled much harder. That was a missed opportunity. Could have gone 150%. Like 50 seconds or something like that. Oh well. Nothing I can do now. We are done with the 4 stages today. Now we just gotta get back to the venue, and that is it, but no more time sections. Camp Greer. This is where the race ends. We only need to now make it to the start finish pavilion, and that's it. Man, I am exhausted. I have to say, the Pisgah Enduro, day 1, absolute blast. If you can ride 4, 5, 6 hours in a row at whatever pace, you should definitely do this. If you can't do like a 4-hour ride, train a little bit more, and when you can pull it off, come over here, because it's a really fun way to experience the trails. At least day 1, didn't feel any pressure. I just rode the best I could. I had fun. I pushed a little bit, but not too much. Everybody has different objectives, and mine was no injuries. In the end, I had a ton of fun. Can't wait until tomorrow. Thank you.
Racing 1 day or 2 days?
2 days.
I'm in the 5th now, so it's cool.
Well guys, that is it for day 1. I hope you had fun coming along. It was an absolute blast to film this. I am exhausted. I will put some stats on the screen as I'm saying this because I don't know exactly the stats yet. I have to check, but as soon as I have them, I'll put them there. In general, for the results in day 1, I'm towards the bottom 4th, I would say. People here are fast, but it's crazy because everyone in that segment is within 20 seconds of each other, so quite the humbling experience. We'll see how tomorrow goes. It's gonna be brutal to climb a park break. Well, I will see you for the next one. Happy riding.